Hi there, Robin here from Expert Island, and today we're going to start a new exciting little set of videos which is all around the Alto Truesonic TS3. Now, the TS3 comes in 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, and 15-inch. Now, for this video, we're going to do the 8-inch, and we happen to be lucky enough to still have a TS2. So we're not just going to actually show you what the TS3 can do, but we're going to have a comparison video there a little bit as well. Now, we've got them set up 24 feet away from the camera. I've turned the gain down a little bit on the camera, so that's because we're going to do some sound checking with it. I also have a dB meter here, and the dB meter is going to let us actually have an idea. Now, I'll be honest, I'm going to say it's twice as loud, but it may be more than that. That is very possible. So we'll give it a try, and there's my dB meter. We'll grab that, and we're going to start with that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do music first, and then I'll give a little bit of talking on it so this way you get an idea. But we'll do that, and we'll check and see what the number is. So just to give you an idea of me talking at my worst volume level, this meter says I'm at 65 dB. Okay, so we'll start with that. So just so you have a good comparison, it's always good if I point them out. On this side, in this corner, we've got the TS208. And on this side, we've got the TS308 at the new 2,000 watts of power. Now the speaker is also a little heavier, so that's a good point to make. So, without ado, we'll just play it a little bit. So, what we're going to do is we will start with the 208, so we have a benchmark of what we really liked before. Now, keeping the actual line level set, so this way we're not over gaining it, we're just back of the speaker where Alto says line level stops, this is max here, you can overclock it, but this is where you want to be. That gave us an 84 on the dB meter. So, from there, we'll now try the TS3. So again, we'll bring up the TS2 first, and then we'll bring in the TS3, and then I'll bring down the TS2. Now, that one came up and said 86.6 on the dB meter, so we'll give it one more try. We're going to bring it back to the TS2. That was the TS2, sitting at about 80 dB. Now, holding in the same spot, we're going to bring in. So, just shy of 86, 85.7. Now, that's not twice as loud at 24 feet away, but it is an 8-inch, and we are 24 feet away. So that is 1.5 times louder on the same size speaker at 24 feet. So that's really, really impressive. I'm kind of happy with that because, again, we're talking about an 8-inch speaker. We're not talking about the 10, the 12, or even the 15, which is going to do a lot better. So bring the music down. Now we'll bring up the microphone so this way we can hear talk over. And there we go. So now we've got both speakers on. And what I'll do is I'll first take away the 308. So that's just the 208 on microphone. And again, everything's all set at just neutral. Nothing more, nothing less. Now we'll bring in the 308, bring that down. So now we've got the 308, and in the mid-range on an 8-inch, this is what we expect. It definitely sounds louder, easier to listen to at this distance. But again, 8-inch, smallest size they have. I mean, this thing is, you know, you can see it. It's nothing at all. I mean, but it's full of power. So again, 208, just the 208. And you can hear there is a distinguishing sound between that speaker 24 feet away and where I am here, but not a noticeable difference. So you can definitely hear me as much as the speaker. But when we definitely bring in the 308, then we hear a noticeable difference. We definitely hear the speaker over me talking, and I mean, that's the point of having a speaker, isn't it? So this way you can actually have it up there. Now remember, we've got the bass, the treble control, everything turned flat, so we don't actually have anything at all. If we want to hear what that same sounds like, if we bring that back and replay the music that we were playing, and we're going to do that just on the 308, and we'll see how much extra we get when we actually turn the EQ on. So now we've added a little bit, we brought up the bass a little bit, the mids are just pulled back a little bit for music play, and the treble's a little bit higher. So amazingly enough, we didn't actually change the overall volume level. The meter's pretty much reading that the peak was there already, and we're at the same now. But the bass was definitely a little bit clearer and a little bit more predominant. And the same thing for the highs. But again, that was with the EQ on, so we'll put it back to flat. So, that being said, for a speaker that's virtually at the same price point, they're giving you almost twice the volume at a close-up distance, and at least 1.5 times the volume at 24 feet away. So it's a no-brainer. Is the TS3 better than the TS2? Well, if I didn't say yes, there'd be something wrong with me, because it definitely is. So those are two speakers side by side. So we're definitely running in the right direction. We're definitely looking at a better product in the same price point. So how does it compare with everybody else? Well, that's going to be up to you. Now, power-wise, they're definitely ahead of a lot of other speaker companies in that price range, if that price range even exists for those speaker companies. So I would definitely give it, you know, a 2 thumbs up for sure, And yeah, so that's it. We've got the TS308, and now we're going to bring it to the table, get a closer look at the back of it, and see how that is. Okay, we'll see you in a minute. All right, so here we are back at the table, and we brought in both the TS208 and the 308. Now again, from the front, they look identical. Peel off the stickers, you couldn't tell the difference. Now, that's a good thing, because if you don't have a 308, but you do have a 208, and you decide you want to buy an extra one, go right ahead. Why not? Who, you know, or you can sell this to your buddy and buy yourself two of the new 308s. But nice part is they still look like a matching set. You're just going to have to balance off the gain in the back a little bit, so this way they both work together. Outside of that, everything's exactly the same. Don't fix it if it isn't broken when it comes to the case, because it's one of the narrowest cases. I like this case. It doesn't take this huge monster footprint. It's easy to pack away. It's easy to bring with you. It's got 2 fly-by-wire connections on the top of the speaker, 308 and the 208, and on the back we've got another connection right there. So if you need to suspend your speakers and pull them back, you can do that. I mean, that's what it's all about. So you can buy fancy connectors, loops for these, but you can also go get the same loops at any hardware store like a Home Depot or Lowe's. Just make sure they're rated enough to carry the weight, which is an easy part because they probably all are in that case. But outside of that, the big difference is going to be the back. Now, again, just to talk about the actual unit for a second, they both offer this, and again, this goes back to the don't fix it if it ain't broken style of the actual case. Now, there's lots of indentation, so instead of just putting a loose handle on here, it's part of the molded structure of the actual unit. Now, that serves a really big benefit. Anytime you just, you know, screw on a handle or something like that, it's not adding to it. But if you've ever watched Discovery Channel or Science Channel and you watch about them talking about bridges and trusses and that sort of thing, this really plays into this. Now, what that means is, a speaker, when it's moving back and forth, wants to, you know, make space because it's pushing air and it's like a balloon, right? It wants to move everything out of the way and just get that sound out. What you do if you want to actually have rigidity in a case is either make it really thick and really heavy, or you use a little bit of science and engineering and you do what Alto did. Alto went and actually put an indentation, they put angles in here, and it gives it rigidity. Now, they gave it body in one direction and in the other, so this way it's very solid. Try and move anything that's shaped like a triangle or a truss. It's really, really hard. I mean, it's holding up probably the roof on top of you right now. So that's the type of science that they put in here. Now, that allows them to put a lighter, stronger unit together without it weighing a ton. So no heavy materials necessary to build this. So now we get to the back and the amp plates. They look very similar. They've got all the right certificates on them, all the safeties, everything's on here. They look familiar on the top portion as well. The big difference is neutral on the 308 is not at 12 o'clock like it is on the actual 208. Two things that I've noticed. One, there's an actual click point. So if you're turning this up and you're blind, you can't see this because you're doing it from the front side or the side. You actually know where the neutral point is right there. But with this, they've actually said 1 o'clock on the back. I know it's hard to see. You can actually go to there, which is where we like to try it now. Because if they're telling me that that's the safe place, that your line level is at its top point, well then that's where we're going to go. The rest of it I'm going to control off either the controller or the mixer, right? So that's what's happening here. Now, they still have the contour function to it, and they still have the grounding on it, and they still have the mix out. Now, when we unplugged them, I'll be honest, they were both hot. 308 was a little bit hotter. So, but again, it's cooled down real fast, and that's the important part. And you know what? Unlike some other brands, I'll be honest, the sniff test after running it for a while was good. It didn't have any burning smell to it, even though it was brand new. Usually I would expect to have a little bit of a smell coming off of it from the factory, or just the heat. Some models, some brands burn a little bit. That's not, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, but you know, if you can smell it, it's intense. Again, these guys here, it sounds like a funny thing to talk about, but it's like there's no smell-o-vision, so this is it. So it came out really well after testing it. And again, it was the 8-inch that we're testing, and we were turning it up as loud as we possibly could, and we were running it constantly at line level, and it worked. It was great. There was so much bass coming out of this guy. Up close, you didn't see this on the videos. I first had to change the tripod because I didn't realize the tripod I had put underneath it was vibrating and rattling and was creating a whole bunch of background noise because the bass on the speaker was causing it. It was very tight and it was vibrating and I was having issues. So I took out that stand, put in a new heavier stand, and it was crystal clear after that. There was no residual noise coming off the stand. Things you wouldn't think about until it actually happens. So there we go. So am I excited to have the 308? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to be popular? Absolutely. Do I think people are going to run out and buy it? For sure, for sure. You're not going to find anything else in that price range with all those features. I think it's a big win for Alto, and I'm happy to have it. And we're going to call it a wrap on that one. Next one we're going to do is we're going to have all the other speakers, so look for them. They're going to be all there for you to look at as we do the videos. They'll be available down below as links back to, or you just go to our YouTube channel and you'll see them all, or on our website. So, again, my name's Robin. You've been watching Expert Island, and we've been talking about the Alto TS3s. Talk to you soon. Bye now.